Oh god, I don't know. Earlier today, Grid Legends was revealed at EA Play. It's the first Grid game that has been made under the EA and Codemasters partnership. And all I can say from watching the trailer a few times is... Wait, is that Eric? I think this trailer suffers from the same sort of issues that Test Drive Unlimited Solo Crunch trailer had, and that it didn't really show off any gameplay. Well, in fact, it showed a bit more gameplay than the Test Drive trailer though, but at the same time it just wasn't giving us, it didn't give us enough information on the game itself. There was again no proper gameplay, but if it's a revealed trailer, you can forgive Grid for not showing us that. And also, another issue is its features. All we got were live action cutscenes, which will be in the game from what I can gather. And they're each different driver showing off the personalities. Nathan McCain has a comeback from the previous Grid titles. And it seems that there's going to be a much more story-driven career mode, which I guess that kind of motivates the player to go through the career mode more often. Because if anything from the previous reboot Grid game, the story mode was just a bit boring for me. Like, I gave up after about 2 weeks or so. I didn't even finish the game. I haven't played the game in over a year at this stage. I just didn't really like it in the end. And yeah, all we can gather is that the roster is going to be the largest of any other previous Grid game. And from what I've seen online so far at the making of this video, that is all I can find about the game. But also, drifting is back, so that was something that was severely missed from the previous game. So that is great to see, I must say. And yeah, I think from the trailer itself, first impressions, they're not the best. But to be fair, I have seen worse trailers, so I give them that. The 2019 reboot was a huge disappointment for me. Despite me, for some reason, making a review and giving it an 8 out of 10. If you bought that game because of me, I am so sorry. But it just didn't have the same charm or live up to the same hype as I was expecting from the previous Grid title. Well, when I mean the previous Grid title, I mean the original Grid game, which was released all the way back in 2008, 2009. Anyway, hopefully that this game, the Grid Legends, is able to correct what the Grid 2019 reboot failed to do. One thing I will say though is that the drivers were walking around with special overalls in different colours and they had different sponsors on it, some of which were the same sponsors you get in the F1 games. It has me to believe that maybe custom sponsors and custom livery designs for the overalls and the cars themselves are available. Like, remember in the original Grid game you were able to put on your own sponsors and select and remove some on the cars? I think that's what this game might have brought that back. That was a feature I really missed from in the reboot. I was disappointed because you have the ability to create your own team, add your own teammate, you have your nemesis system, all that sort of stuff, and it just dropped the ball towards the end of it. The game just didn't feel properly finished for me. A game that had so much going for it, it was very disappointing, to be honest. Again, it'll be a great game to buy when it's for sale for a $5, but I bought it on day one, so I missed out badly with that game. But yeah, anyway, that kind of brings me on to my next and more or less final point. The original Race Driver Grid that was released back in 08 or 09, I haven't really checked, to be honest, was a masterpiece. It was a very good game. One of the best games to come out of the PS3, that generation of consoles. Although it did come out for PC and other stuff as well. The graphics were beautiful for its time. The AI was some of the best I've seen in racing games, period. Like, they were aggressive, but they didn't ram you off the road. They would make mistakes. They actually had a bit of soul to them, and they were properly competitive in certain areas of the career mode. The ability to make your own teammates, start your own team, add like your own preset liveries, manage your sponsors, and enter the 24 Hours of Le Mans. All that features of that game were brilliant. And the game itself, like, everything just worked. It was sensational. The drifting was good. The Toe Gear Racings was class. Again, 24 Hours Le Mans was awesome. The selection of cars was really good, even though it wasn't very big. It was just a fabulous game. And then I think since they made the second Grid 2, things have kind of just fallen down a bit, and they haven't really been able to recover from it. And that made me realise that Race Driver Grid was so good that not even Codemasters themselves, the people who created it, can make it again. It was such a masterpiece that it can't be copied. It can't be repeated. It is quite literally the Lexus LFA to Lexus when it comes to like racing games. Because you may, if you watched Top Gear years and years ago, you may have seen Clarkson review the Lexus RCF. He drove that car after he fell in love with the LFA. He was expecting the RCF to be just as good as it, and it just failed to live up to the expectations. And Clarkson came to the conclusion that Lexus made the LFA so good that they couldn't make it again. And I think that's exactly what has happened to the Grid franchise. Now, I haven't played Grid Autosport. I heard mixed things about that game, but other than that, these games they don't have dropped in popularity. You never hear people talking about them ever. Like, you almost forget that those games have even come out. There's absolutely no marketing for them. They just fall through the cracks, and only like the real diehard racing game fans will play them. But what's not to say, what's wrong with Forza Motorsport? What's wrong with Need for Speed games? What's wrong with Forza Horizon? What's wrong with, again, Test Drives and Assetto Corsa, all those other sort of titles? Like, the competition that Grid Games now has is so competitive. It's kind of hard for them to kind of do their own thing unless they really pump in loads of money, loads of advertising, loads of marketing, and make sure that the game is a very strong product. And you think EA would be capable of that, but let's look at F1 2021. Yeah, and I don't think there's going to be very positive feedback about this game, simply because people were expecting a Need for Speed this year. I was expecting a Need for Speed this year. And you see F1 2021 and how it's sketchy, to say the least, on its launch. And you have this game. EA upset a lot of fans not making a Need for Speed. And I think they're going to upset even more fans when they get Codemasters to make this game. Like, even though Codemasters made this game, I feel they won't get the blame for it. It won't be Cody's fault. It would be EA's fault. EA are going to be the ones who are going to get the blame for this. And to be fair, they probably deserve some of it. So what do you think of Grid Legends? Are you excited for it? Are you not looking forward to it at all? Let me know in the comments below. Now, I know my uploads haven't been the most consistent recently. Like, I have been busy with work. Weather at home has been great, so I've been kind of outside enjoying myself, and just a few other personal sort of things. I'm trying to stay away from the PC recently. I just kind of in this like area where I kind of just wanted to be a little calm. I kind of want to go out and meet up with friends again, because there's a very long time I couldn't do that. And just enjoy the summer, because as I just finished college, I'm not going to get another summer holiday again. Anyways, I hope you understand. I will upload more videos. I have another video about VRT, and if you're importing a car from the UK. It's ready, I just haven't uploaded it yet. If you want to see it, then let me know. Anyways, I hope to see you all very, very soon.